Hey y'all, I'm sitting here staring at my pinto beans. Wait a minute, somebody snuck up behind me. Hey sissy, you ready for the night watch? Huh? I think she is. The pinto beans, I never had those before, never planted them. And boy, they have taken off, hadn't they? Look at that. Got my tomatoes in, grew them from seed. Let's see, it don't matter, they're doing fine. Now my corn and the rest of it, that's another matter. And that's the reason that the chickens are quarantined. They don't have the virus, the eggs are fine. But they sure do like those little pea sprouts. The rain took me out on one plant and then they got me on the next. So we've decided to go another route and they can just enjoy some time in the coop until those plants get a little bigger. Now I've got corn up and some peas, but it's hard to tell, but it's on the other end of the pasture where the chickens didn't want to walk so far. That's okay. We got to do a replant. I debated I was going to do it this evening. We closed a little early for Good Friday at the store, and the weather was beautiful today, but it's a little wet still, and we've got a storm coming tomorrow, and I'm not going to go through 4 plants, or I hope not to, with another washout, so I'll wait, check the moon, and we'll go another route. Sissy's getting ready for the night watch out there. For all the PETA people and animal cruelty, they're fine. There's no cruelness here, I promise you. But I do let them out in the evening for about an hour to forage a little bit, as long as they stay away from that garden. But that's something they've not been accustomed to, is being locked in the coop, because there's not been a threat on the place. Now they're the threat, so we had to redirect. But chose to do the afternoon mowing, I guess. It's going to be a different weekend for all of us, isn't it? Easter. I don't know that any of our lifetimes would have ever been through a situation where open church service or what have you is not necessarily legal. Of course, it's not a persecution thing. We know that it's an unknown threat. It's a threat all the same, but need to use our wise bones in us to kind of curb that threat. Nacogdoches isn't doing such a good job, to be honest with you. Hate to be negative, but we're jumping up 5 and 6 cases a day, and unfortunately I've seen why. A lot of folks out and about, not really paying attention to just basic distancing. But regardless, whatever it is, there's a snake in the woodpile, y'all, and we don't know how venomous it is, but we need to do our little better job at taking care of ourselves and those around us. God forbid handling all that money all day. I'm safe, but sure don't want to pass that to somebody else. Sure don't. But we'll get through it. I'm sure we've all got it better than some. I'll tell you, it's a weird reality. I've been thinking a lot of it today. A lot of people alone right now. Some of us are kind of sequestered and quarantined to our own worlds, but even past that, I know my uncle had a scare and a serious situation over the weekend, and really brought it home to me, along with some other things. He was out burning some brush there in Florida. Aftermath from Matthew, I believe, was a hurricane that just wiped out their place there, and of course it's a long cleanup. Fire got out of hand. Of course, he's a little older, not much older if he's watching, but got anxious and overheated and had a heart attack, bad one. Got him to the hospital, and my cousin's in law enforcement, and he and his mother was there, and that's his dad. And couldn't go in. Nothing to do with him having the virus, but they couldn't go into the hospital, so there he was, suffering alone in a hospital bed. He's on the mend. He's home now. They put a defibrillator in. He recovered fine. Some scares along the way, but brought to home, though, there's people tonight, probably in our distant network, nothing to do with them being sick from whatever sickness is going around with the virus, but car wrecks, heart attacks, normal life stuff. They're having to sit there alone, and that's how it is. I shudder to think what would have happened if that situation with the dementia, the degrade, Was able to be there with her for 30 days, Dad, around the clock. Couldn't have been there. A lot of people suffering right now, y'all. Let's pray for those that are feeling alone tonight. It's Good Friday. We're celebrating the ultimate sacrifice today as Christians. Some of you may not be. That's okay. He still died for y'all as well, whether you like it or not. But talk about being alone. Can you imagine? Now I guess we get a little taste of it, or some of us do. After that last breath was taken on that old cross, and he gave up the ghost and surrendered his spirit, forgave the thieves, and that night, there's not a whole lot to talk about it with those disciples and apostles that followed him. A lot of accounts of the night before and the confusion and the arrest and all that, but that night's kind of quiet in the scripture. But can you imagine being Peter or his mother Mary or any of them? Their leader, their Christ, their guy that they'd seen minister to thousands and do so many miracles was dead. And they were scared. They didn't leave Jerusalem. I guess it'd been good sense to maybe do so, since they were next on the hit list. But they didn't, because of a promise. As scared as they were, and knowing the betrayal of Peter and denying Christ on the night before he was crucified, they sat alone somewhere in that country on a night like tonight. The weather wasn't like this, so I guarantee you that. The Bible says it was dark. Sun went dark about 3 or 4 o'clock that afternoon. Man, fear had to be there. Thought a lot about that today, and how we might have a better chance at maybe channeling that similar emotion with the way things are around us this Easter. I don't know that it was planned that way. I know it wasn't, but God uses everything to work toward the good, so maybe we need to think about that a little bit. You know what got them through? Try to figure it out. They heard a lot of his words, saw him turn water into wine and so many miracles, but they stayed around because they still had faith. They had hope in the resurrection. They didn't have any proof. Christ hadn't risen yet. They didn't have the scriptures to look at, the promise of the good preaching or things around them. They saw it firsthand, but they didn't know. They didn't know. They knew they had hope, and they knew they had faith. And Friday was dark. Saturday had to be even worse. Then comes Sunday. Sunday was coming. Boy, that's something else. So as bad as it is around us, if y'all have loved ones that are in a nursing home, maybe suffering with dementia, and you can't get to them and can't even take them anything at this point, they've changed that. They're confused. They don't know where you're at. Probably wouldn't know who you were if you were there, but we hurt for them not being there. Hope. Faith. Sunday's on the way, y'all. It is. We're going to get through this. There's going to be a lot of folks that on the back end's hurting. Businesses that'll never reopen. And people's lives will forever change. I don't know that I'll ever get closer than 6 foot to most folks in public anymore in my life. Maybe 5 foot. But we'll get through it. Just hoping for the exit strategy sooner than later. But Easter's going to be different for all of us this year, but only if you let it. I think it goes to prove that you're not alone. He took care of that. So maybe we need to shake off all the pomp and circumstance that we're becoming used to. And I guess some of y'all, and church is the only time you go, or Easter was the only time you went to church. There's been a few years like that in my life. I'll admit. I'm not judging. Speaking from experience. But this Easter, church has been removed as a building. So what do you have left? Hope? Faith? I hope so. I have faith that you do. Let's celebrate it with joy and vigor and rejoicing in what we've been given as a human race. sun setting. It's a cool 60-something degrees out here. I'm hoping those tomato plants survive the storm that we're going to have blow through tomorrow evening. I reckon they will. Got a little hope and faith in it. If they don't, we'll replant. We'll still see new life, won't we? A little thoughtful tonight, y'all. But hope springs eternal. Let's take that. Hold it tight. Even if you're alone, hadn't been able to see your grandkids or your kiddos or your parents even through the virus or loss or whatever it be. Hope and faith. It'll get us through. There are better days. There are probably some worse days ahead, but that's what we got to do. All right, let me get off my soapbox, I guess. Got to get off of here. Do a quick roll call. Y'all can sound off where you're at and what you're doing on a Good Friday in quarantine. Hope we're all counting our blessings, right? I know I am. All right, I'm going to scroll up and do a little... I hate that sound when I do that. All right, here we go. There's Maria. How are you? She's in quarantine, she says. There's AC and Angela saying howdy. All right, we got Sandra checking in. There's Miss Ladina up in the thick of things around Dallas. That's not the virus, y'all, just saying. Pine pollen is thick, and I've been stacking hay all day, so that's what that is. Lyle in Canton, Texas. What's going on, bud? There's Karen Smith saying howdy, and Charlotte from West Tennessee. We're doing great. Jennifer's checking in from the hills of Kentucky. That's a good place to be about now, I reckon. And let's see, AC saying howdy. I'm one that's home alone. Not fun. I hear you, AC. Hang in there. It's going to be all right. Promise that ain't the virus. There's Lyle saying I think COVID is about 75% horse hockey and 25% serious. Use common sense. That's right. I agree with that statement completely. We know enough to know we need to be careful. There's Sherry. Good evening, Joel. Been home from work over 3 weeks. Sure wish in the country during this time. Yeah, they will continue to rise as the tests go, but we just got to stay the course, right? I've been wearing my brown pants just about every day. If they weren't brown when I got there, they're brown when I left. Yes, it's from the dirt of the feet, just to make that clear if y'all saw that video. There's Letitia checking in. Billy's saying howdy. Helen, mom's in a home. She positive. Oh, my goodness. Y'all, prayers for Helen's mom. There's Ladina. Let's see. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for those prayers for my uncle. There's Deborah and Lyle. Yeah, just to be clear, Mom passed last year. I was recounting whether or not how bad it would have been had she been in the final stages at this point. We wouldn't have been able to be there. So some folks are going through that right now, but definitely thinking about them. There's Joanne and Donna and came Sunday. That's right. Thank you, Allison, for that. Patricia, Charlotte saying howdy down Trinity Way. There's Mickey. You're welcome. Andrew. Shelter of Interlocking. That's good stuff. There's Richard from San Antonio. I think I got about everybody. Letitia, Charlotte saying peanut butter crackers. Hit a good old Coke. Hey, that's a pretty good Friday. Literally. Conroe's checking in with Della. Hey, Kathy, how are you? Good to see you. There's Miss Allison sitting on my porch in Grapevine. Charlotte's frying fish. Well, that sounds good. As long as it's under 10 people, maybe. Hey, that's just more for you, right? Thank you, AC. There's Pamela. Let's see. Ron saying howdy. Hey, it has been a long time, buddy. Good to see you checking in. There's Vicky. And you're welcome, ma'am. Pamela saying hi. And Pam Neely. Thank you. Yeah, that amaryllis is, you caught that, didn't you? I've got one here that usually blooms on Easter. But I think Easter's come a little bit early for it. Well, let's see. What am I doing here? Oh, I got my little landscape bone going on, y'all. And there's that cotter pin off that mower. I was looking for that today. Now I found it. How about that? Remember, I used to have a big old camellia bush. When I say big, I'm talking about big, y'all. It was planted about right here. And it was over the roof. just taking over everything. I mean, it was out of control. I don't know whatever happened to it. I've heard different stories and rumors, but it disappeared way back. And my aunt, Loretta, lives in town, always been a master gardener in horticulture and yard pretty. I think she's got 300 or 400 azaleas out there in her yard and beautiful flowers. Well, I went and saw her the other day from a distance because she's 84 and looks about 35, but don't want to get her sick. But I wanted a couple of camellias off her place, and she had a couple that had came up. And me and Jordan did a little East Texas landscaping, I guess is the politically correct word. I dug up these rocks that were already there, but they were buried in time. Found an old Dr. Pepper bottle buried in the dirt. That's got to stay. And I don't know what this is. I thought it might have been a rabbit originally. I don't know. Ain't no telling. It's a headless something or other that was buried in the dirt. I guess it's a rabbit with hands. But I'm scared to keep digging. But thought at least it'd be better than weeds there, huh? But that old amaryllis is what I was talking about. It's a white one, and it shoots way up about Easter time and makes a big bloom. It ain't gonna make it this year, but I imagine we'll see it in a week or two. But now I got that side to do. So sometimes you got to take a break from the garden and do a little beautification. I don't know if it's beautiful, but I'm gonna call it that. And I put a matching camellia over here too, so we'll see how that works out. We got a summer to get through to make it. But anyway, that's about all I got on beauty and landscaping, right? It'll be good though. All right, trying to get this happy Easter to all of y'all, and I hope you are celebrating the reason that we celebrate it. I did a little Easter egg hunt myself today. I had 2 new neighbors I met. I decided to put my egg sign back up, y'all. You know, I've taken it down for several weeks. I've just been handing out eggs, even at the store, to some of our customers that need them. But I went to the store the other evening, and I saw that the eggs were out, and I'm like, that's crazy. They're right. So I went ahead and put the sign back up because I got to thinking about it. I can still give them away, but if I don't have a sign up, nobody knows I have any, and they're hurting and they need them. So sold a couple this afternoon and met some new neighbors, and they were happy to get them. And I'm cheaper than Walmart and Brooks Brothers, is what I'm told. But I went on an Easter egg hunt because we ran out of eggs, and we're having to stand out there and holler in the coop for them chickens to keep laying. But anyway, I got some phlegm in my throat or something. Get that, some Benadryl or whatever. I just don't mess with allergies too much, but I was in that hay all day today. I guess that's what it is. But, y'all have a good evening. Be the light, and I'm going to sign off because it's getting dark on me. I think I missed some folks. There's Aggie saying hello, and Alexis. Gene will do a quick read off Grand Prairie. There's Lee. Let's see. Kimberly, Letitia. Hope I didn't miss anybody, y'all. I do read them all afterward, I promise. All right. Well, okay. I'm going to stop scrolling and get off here while I got some good sense. Y'all have a good evening. Be the light. And remember, a little hope, a little faith. That's how we're going to get through it, right? Y'all be the light. Happy Easter. Enjoy this weekend. We may check in Sunday afternoon, right? If it ain't raining. See y'all.